Good evening. Welcome to the August 12th, 2025 Select Board meeting. We have had a glitch with Spectrum and the internet, and we won't have a Zoom to start. We're hoping that it'll come up in the middle of the process, but with no idea of the timetable, how long it'll take to bring it up, we're going to move forward with business of the town. And so with that in mind, we're going to start with the minutes. And, we have a quorum. All five of us are here, obviously. And if there's any question on any one of the three, we can go to them if you'd like. Or we can, if you haven't read them, you can read them now.
I don't think we can approve them all at once because Derek was absent for one of them.
Yeah, we'll go through each one.
All right.
If you don't mind, just
Okay,
for this
yep.
particular set. I make a motion to approve June 17th, 2025 Select Board meeting minutes.
I would second that.
All those in favor?
I'll make a motion to approve July 8th, 2025 Select Board workshop minutes.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Do we have, should we make, no, Derek, are you abstaining? Okay. And then I make a motion for July, to approve July 8th, 2025 regular Select Board meeting and workshop.
I have discussion on that.
Okay, let's look at
I
it.
just have a question, and it's not about the way the minutes were prepared. It's more of a question, that something I noticed in the minutes that I just want to make sure it's on the next agenda. So we talked about having a community events discussion, but we tabled it. And it was supposed to be, I thought, to the next meeting, but I'm assuming, and I may be wrong, Dennis, but is it going to be for the workshop in September?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
With that, I'm good.
The question he had is, we were trying to do a work session and then come in and talk about what we, both our vision and what we wanted to have the community involvement.
Yep.
And tonight, with the special meeting, we decided to put the workshop off into the next meeting. So with that in mind, any more discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Which moves us up to the new business with Kate.
Okay.
And
So-
was she gonna zoom in?
She was. She said I can call her and put her on speaker if you would like.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that? Okay.
And Joe, you can present for her, probably.
I can. Yeah. I mean, it's not. It's a one pager, so. Yeah, let's do that because she says she has another meeting coming up. So I'll present North Star's planning. This is about the Community Resilience Partnership Grant. This was brought forward by John Rand and Brian Walker, and Kate was the lead on this. So after the discussion from the previous meeting, Select Board meeting, it kind of narrowed down a few of the grant project, I think, key items. One was the land use ordinance update. Another was the 2009 open space plan. And then obviously doing an audit and energy efficiency upgrades for the potential of Jordan Small Middle School when moved in there. So those are the three that Kate pulled out. And obviously, I think with the 2009 open space plan, I think that's also changed. So that was something that was on my mind. So with those three, that's what Kate is proposing. And I can kind of go through the application process at this point. North Star Plan will be writing the grant for Raymond as part of our role as a service provider. Following a conversation with the town manager, we'd like to request that the Select Board nominate a member to volunteer to work with the NSP to provide input on the scope and review of the grant application before it's submitted. It's just really brief, just kind of bouncing some of the key ideas, and I think we have two members here of the comprehensive plan, so you know exactly what the goals set forward are at this point. So as far as the the groundwork, it'll be Kate, me, and John Rand kind of pushing the grant through, but they thought it'd be good to have one member.
And it was for $75,000 grant?
This is $75,000, yep.
And it's to keep this group working with us, right?
Correct. And part of the grant is funding North Star planning to implement this, this grant.
Dennis? I would volunteer to be the liaison to that,
Oh,
because they're looking for one member, unless,
you-
I mean, she's already on a couple already.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think it's great to have you on that board. Any objection? There you have your man, or person. I get better.
Thank you, thank you, Chris.
So we have to move forward, though, and make it a resolution, right?
Yes, yeah, vote on it to accept the grant and carry to the next, next
We're-
parcels.
We're not accepting the grant at this time. no.
Sorry, accepting the resolution.
Yes.
To get the grant, sorry.
You want to read it, and then we'll just make a motion from there?
Yes, yeah, I can I'll read the overview and the grant projects in more detail. North Star Planning and Siler Climate Consultant are working as service providers to help Raymond enroll in the Community Resilience Partnership. Raymond has completed 2 out of the 3 steps, a self-assessment and a workshop held on July 8th. The Select Board will consider passing a resolution to join the program at the August 12th meeting. Once Raymond enrolls, the town will be eligible to apply for the CRP grant. Applications are due by August 29th. The grant projects are the land use ordinance. Raymond is eligible to apply for a no-match grant of $75,000. Following input from the self-assessment and the workshop, 3 key action areas are identified for Raymond. Number 1, land use ordinance updates, including solar, open space subdivision, lot size, road standards, to implement the goals of the 2025 comprehensive plan and make Raymond's land use more resilient. Number 2, update Raymond's 2009 open space plan with a focus on plan implementation, conservation projects, and land use ordinance updates that support Raymond's conservation and open space goals. Number 3, building facility audit and energy efficiency upgrades for Jordan Small Middle School, including new heat pumps, lighting, and other upgrades to make the building an efficient public space that can also serve as a warming and cooling shelter. So that is the resolution.
Sorry, Joe, the
Yeah.
resolution's actually on the following page.
Oh.
But I will make a motion to accept the resolution by the town of Raymond to enroll in the Community Resilience Partnership as provided in the materials.
Second.
I found the other page.
Any questions? Are those in favor? All right. Next thing on the agenda would be the consideration of joining the Maine MMA, Maine Municipal Association, by the town manager.
Yes, this is something I wanted to bring to the Select Board. I think it's a great service that Maine Municipal Association can provide to our employees, and Select Board members, and other public officials of our committees and everything. They offer a lot of workshops that right now, if we are applying for, are at a full price, if not maybe 3 or 4 times more than what members would get. And there's some really good ones about, legislation coming through, a lot of there's like verbal judo that you can attend, and also specific workshops for your department. So not only with that, you have legal services that they provide, which will be significantly cheaper than, calling our lawyers. And I also offer like risk management and some other programs that we could look at. So when Betsy, our HR consultant, reached out, they would do a prorated payment. If we started at September 1st, the dues would be $3,255. If we start in October, it would be $2,441. They go by calendar billing. So if we want to re-up, we would have to re-up in January 1st. But it comes out to $813.75 a month. So that's the cost associated. So I was trying to get what you guys were thinking. This is something that we would want to look at, and also where to fund it out of.
Comments?
Yeah, I got some comments. I think I've been in town almost 18 years, off and on, working with the town, and it's something that I've always wanted for the town to have the membership with MMA for several reasons. We can reach out to their attorneys, not for a legal matter, which means a case that we're taking to court. They won't go to court with us. But you ask them administrative advice, and they can answer questions, the same questions that, I don't know how many members they have, but pretty much everybody in Maine except for Raymond. So it has some extreme, for the money we're spending, I know that we overspent administrative legal fees last year by way more than probably 4 times what this membership is. And those are the calls that we can save money on. That's just one advantage. All these things, these trainings that they have, you get a group membership rate, so you can take advantage of the trainings. Those trainings for, he mentioned verbal judo, for instance, that would cost $360 to $400, but if you're a member, it's like $80 or $120. I'd like to send, I would have liked to have sent Jason and myself to these many, many times, because we're always dealing with trying to de-escalate a problem in the office. So there's just another advantage. So I'm not going to go on and on and on, because I think it has way more benefits than this cost. I'm not sure how we're going to fund it. That's more the town manager's job to figure out where it comes from. But if we just save it from administrative legal fees, which were almost $40,000 last year, over budget. Am I right? So it's just smart. Second thing I'd like to add to this conversation is that's just for the membership and taking advantage of the things that come along free. We also, if we become a member in September, so we get it for 3 years, by the next 3 months, I think we should look into what we could get for insurance rates for our vehicles, our property, and our employees, because I think we can do a lot better with that big pool. Raymond is a small pool. And when you join MMA, you're joining all these communities with all their employees and all their property and all their assets. And I think we can really do a lot better. So that's my comment.
Anyone else? I'm definitely a proponent of Maine Municipal Association for many reasons, similar to Chris. I would ask us not to vote tonight, but to wait till after the workshop, and we can talk about financing and where we're going to be.
Yep.
Because I am concerned right now with
Me too.
first phase,
Yes.
where we are. So we can put it on the agenda for next month. I mean, we can all talk about it. The $10,000 is minor in an $8 million budget, but
We got,
They all add up.
they do. They do.
Yeah, I agree. I think having a sense of where this would come from would let us know whether we wait until the first of the year, whether we try to enter, and, obviously we won't make September 1st, but then we'd be looking at October.
So, with that said, I would only ask one thing, that we still start doing the investigation on what we could save
Yeah.
on insurance, so that when we have the vote.
I think that's great.
So, that's just more information.
I think it's great.
I think a cost analysis of all of it would be, if you can truly show how much it's going to cost. It's hard with some of those lawyer fees, because some of those
Right.
things were actual cases where you're not going to get some of that legal fee out. But if you can easily, I don't know, you probably can't, some of it's gray area or whatever, but I'm sure you can maybe come up with some sort of spreadsheet, or at
Yeah.
least some
Yeah,
sort
I can-
of cost
I can work-
analysis on what you're going to get to what you think you're going to save, and then we can reevaluate it. And if it's killing it next year, then go.
Yep.
We re-up. If it's not or even, then we discuss it again.
you know?
Yes, because those are what I had for questions for
Okay,
you.
great.
Was that, do you have any sense of the cost of trainings that we're spending on now versus what we, if we do
Right.
this, what is the savings? So
Yeah.
all of my questions were based on a better understanding of what we
Sure.
would actually see.
Yeah, I can look into that. I think our training line was $9,000, I believe is what our training line is.
There was
Um,
one recently that was like, under training, that was 13,000, it was 1 month, so.
Yeah, it might be a different department. This is under admin, there's that training, but,
It doesn't show on our,
right. Yeah,
What
each
departments?
department will have a different training amount, so.
Yeah, okay.
So I can compile that as well, what the training budget is for each department and
yes.
kind of what's been spent.
The
in
overall
the past.
financial
Yeah.
impact.
And I can work with Betsy, our HR consultant, on kind of the insurance rates and things like that, so what we could save on those.
Okay.
Great, so we'll move that to September 16th, and that'll give me some time to work on, look at the funding as well.
Thank you. So the next thing,
Tax abatement.
yes, is the tax abatement that Kurt has recommended.
Yep.
It's pretty straightforward. It's $27 or $28.
Yep.
It's just a mistake of a business going out, and it's business tax for business equipment. So if there's any questions or comments, we can entertain that, and if not, I'll entertain a motion.
It'd be a bad idea to form a committee and make sure that we know where that 2750.
Yeah.
I move to approve the abatement in the amount of $27.52 to the law office of Todd H. Crawford from the 2024 tax assessment of personal property.
Second.
All those in favor? Just deal with my agenda.
We have to sign that, don't we?
Yes,
It's-
that's what you're doing, right, Joe?
I actually, for the memo?
Yeah, don't we have to sign that?
Yes.
For the abatement.
Just,
Right.
yeah. Shuffled off the minutes, I mean, the,
Hmm.
get all this stuff I can dig out.
On, I have it just attested by Joe.
Oh, is it just the town manager?
This one says it's just the town manager. But usually,
Oh.
usually we all have to sign it.
Yeah, well, that's all right, maybe because it's a minor amount of money.
Maybe, yeah, I don't have
If
that.
not, we can put it on the clipboard by the back door.
Yeah,
But I
I'll
think-
research that, because I don't have that memo in here.
Well, the
It's right
the
here.
certificate of,
It's signed by
is
the
just
town
for
manager.
you.
Yeah,
I like that, we
Taylor's
should have
right.
more of those.
that's easy.
All right, the last thing to do, we're turning it over to you, Joe.
Yes,
Last
I had to
thing is-
move over here to get the
We don't throw it around.
spreadsheet, or the presentation.
You're going to do the wrap up, the 23-24?
That's, yep, that's the last of the agenda. Brenda was going to join us through Zoom, but it's not working, so it'll just be me.
Yeah. And that's not working, it's right.
Joe's the HDMI plugged in.
I'll plug it in right.
I'll bring it up.
I think I got it, Bill. Just logging in right now, which,
Oh,
yeah.
Just make sure HDMI was plugged in.
So just while he's doing that, I'll give you a heads up on what's going on. September's meeting, the chair asked our finance director if we had enough information from the audit to close out the 23-24 budget. That was actually September 10th, Select Board meeting, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, the 10th of '24. At the time, Brenda had just started, and there was a bit of talk about, you know, her appointment. She said that she had jumped right into the June yeah.
Hey, Bill, it's not going to work.
Reconciliation of the June thing, and then we asked her if, the chair asked her if there was
I have you on
enough
back here.
money to balance out between the departments, like the warrant says. The warrant in our town says that if one department is over and one's savings, we have a right to move it from one department to another. And so we've waited all this time to get this. We finally said it's time to hear what we did and what we didn't do. And actually, it was interesting because when he asked the question, she started talking about the surplus and said we had to maintain $2,556,701. That's the minimum. And that we're at 3,655,739. So it sounded like we had a lot of money. And I made a note of it because it did sound like a lot of money. We're about to go through the report that may tell a little different story. You know, and again, we had to request this so the public would know how well we did with the 23-24 budget, as well as the Select Board. She chose to do it through Zoom, so Joe's going to answer questions for her.
Well, I pulled this together, too. We worked on this collectively, and it was a good study for me, so I could look in what was done in the past and really kind of dig deep into how the budget was working and some of the, you know, changes we can make going forward in the new budget year. So, got tons of knowledge. Bill, is that clear enough, or should I keep zooming in?
Can you go full screen?
Yeah. Present mode.
How does that look for you?
Okay, I'll read it from the screen here. So to start, I just kind of want to basically go through kind of the overall general government fund structure. So we have our major funds, which is the general fund, which is all the, you know, administration, public works, public safety, parks and rec, library. That's our general fund. That's our operational. So it's considered major fund. Then we have the bond fund, which is our debt service. So once we accept a project, it will move from CIP to bond fund when we go out to the bond bank. We also have non-major funds, special revenue fund, which is kind of like a accrual basis. So when we collect revenues, we expense those revenues to cover those programs and events. So Parks and Recreation is a special revenue fund. We also have our capital improvement projects funds. That's like public safety, their equipment, public works vehicles. Also, we have assessment and IT in those capital improvement funds. Then we have also permanent funds as well. From those governmental funds, we also have proprietary funds, which is our enterprise fund. That's kind of like a special revenues, but operates completely out of kind of the government's fund accounts. So Tasseltop Park is considered our enterprise account. So it kind of operates as a business, but the town is running it. Any questions on that fund structure?
Yeah, when you talked about special revenue funds, you're really talking about the ones you do with recreation, or did in recreation, where you charge a fee
Correct.
and then you spend it all.
Correct. Yeah.
Nothing comes back to the town.
It stays in the town. It stays into that fund structure. So whereas general fund, when if you have a surplus, it falls down to the fund balance and then it goes into the fund balance. Special revenues stay within that account. So when you bring in money, you can expense it, obviously, during that time period, but you also have that building its own surplus. So that's what a special revenue fund is. It kind of acts like an enterprise fund, but the special revenue fund is still within that governmental structure.
That's the second time you've said that to me, that when we're done, they all fall into surplus and then you balance it out. We have a warrant that says we move it between departments. And then if it has to go to the unfunded, the surplus, we have to come to the town.
That's for the general fund. The general fund account. So special revenue is separate from that, even within that governmental structure.
Yeah, I know
That's not-
it's separate.
right.
That doesn't, but you're saying it goes into the surplus?
No, it carries its balance over.
Right.
Right. So it's not going to the fund,
So
fund
much
balance surplus.
like Tasseltop, the funds stay
Correct.
within
It stays
recreation.
within that, yes.
And it doesn't
Yep,
go to benefit anything besides those special programs.
correct. And there's other special revenue funds like library donation. They received a donation. Obviously, you don't want that to go into the general fund and then be into undesignated fund balance. So that will be in a special revenue fund. So that
Scholarship.
if it's not, scholarships is another one, stuff like that. So if you don't want it to fall to fund balance, you put it into a special revenue fund to keep it there. Because say you get something in June, by June 30th, you would have to spend that, or else it would go to undesignated fund balance.
Okay, thank you.
So really quick, I kind of took what the audit had. We also ran some TRIO reports in this as well. If there's any specific questions, please ask, but I can go through this. This is the general fund budgetary basis. So you're comparing kind of what the original budgeted amounts versus the actual amounts. And then you're going through and kind of looking at how you came out at the end of the year. So the difference between the original and final budget for the general fund was due to the use of assigned fund balance, the amount of $75,000, and warrant Article 8, referendum question F. So when you voted on the warrant, you had allocated $75,000 and if you kind of go over anything like that.
That's the select board you're talking about?
At the
Yep.
warrant article.
Okay.
The warrant article.
Yeah, so the $75,000 you're referring to is the select board has a right to move that.
It actually, this one is just appropriated to the fund balance. So there's a separate warrant article
Okay,
for that.
thank you.
Yep. So when you go, kind of what it's saying here is when you go in your budget, you're expending your committed, which is what everybody voted on for departments. If that gets overspent, you go in assigned fund balance, which is that 75,000, and then after that, you're going to an unassigned fund balance if you need to cover that expense. So here you see we have in the inflows, you have all the kinds of revenues coming in, 296, and you have the outflows, which is all of our expenses, and we came out to that bottom budgetary fund balance number. So with all those adjustments and everything like that, we came out to 128,000 at the end of this fiscal year 23-24.
128?
Sorry, this is small print.
So we overspent by 167,477, but our revenues offset that to 128
Yes,
to the positive?
that's with the utilization of the fund balance.
Yeah, you used,
So you have the unassigned fund balance of $175,000, and then the $75,000, which was assigned fund balance.
so $250,000 of,
That's the part I don't understand. The $170,000 was in a warrant?
It's part of, I believe, when looking at this, you have allocated a amount of unassigned fund balance that can be used. That's to offset taxes or
and yet they had
this.
used both.
So I think that's, again, I haven't reviewed those meetings. I think it was a couple of
Well,
years ago.
we vote for $300,000 to offset taxes,
Correct.
not the budget.
Right, and I believe there's a warrant article in there as well that says, sorry, this might be a special meeting. So I don't know. I haven't looked that far into the warrant articles, how they're written for this, this piece.
Can I ask a clarifying
Sure,
question?
yeah, of
I'm
course.
just trying to understand it. So what we're saying is that essentially we raised, I'm rounding here, about
Yeah.
$300,000 more than what was expected, correct? That would be the inflow. So we raised
Right.
that through various means. But then we spent $170,000 more than we should have, or we actually spent 250 plus 167,000 more than we should have.
Yes, it's the second one.
Yeah.
So I'm a little ahead of this, but with, same thing Kayla's talking about, under, I think, the fourth page, it says here, and I quote for the public, we basically, to cover the difference, the $175,000 from the unassigned fund balance was voted on by the Select Board. I can't find that.
Or it could be a special meeting, so it could have been voted on as well. So if you're appropriating this.
Right, but we wouldn't know it was shortfall until after the audit,
Correct.
which happened after I got on the Select Board.
Wait, sorry, the audit or the,
Till we, well, it's
so
23,
June, so
24.
FY 23, 24.
So the next budget is 24, 25,
So
which we
yes,
just
it would
finished, that
fall
we
into
haven't
24,
been,
25.
got the audit from. We would have to have voted that $175,000 on, and that's where I'm
Right.
struggling. I went through some of the meetings, and I can't find that. And I know that we have a warrant. I mean, in our warrants, we say that if one department spends in excess and another one doesn't, we have a right to move, and the citizens, we ask them to move the money from one account to the other to balance it out. And what I'm reading is the same thing Kayla just said, that we overspent. Well, actually, I did the math here. We had revenues that came in.
You can move all the funds you want, but it's still over. You still spent more than.
Correct, but there's a process to do it. Did you remember voting on $175,000 at a Select Board meeting
But there's-
for an overrun?
But what I'm saying is, it's still going to be, that amount that it's over doesn't balance. So even if you use everybody else that didn't overspend, if you use all
That's
their
right.
money, it's still.
That's right.
That's what we're
exactly
talking
right.
about.
That's exactly what I just said.
Yes.
And in order to do that, we have $75,000 only. The Select Board can use that, as we see.
That's a
This is
state
a-
statute.
This is this is
250.
This says that the Select Board voted $175,000 to balance out 23 and 24, which is why I wanted the finance director here.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I know, she wanted to zoom in. All the other ones are here most of the time.
I guess, and again, because then when I look at the next bullet point, it says that to cover the shortfall of 167,000, that we used $175,000 from unassigned fund balance. So then that doesn't mean we actually overspent by 417,000.
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
Because 300 of it was revenues we got above and
Okay,
beyond.
because
Yeah,
that's
we were-
what I had asked, and you said second option. That's okay, I may not have said it clearly.
Yeah,
Okay.
The problem I have is this is a document that says that we voted. to-
I might have misspoke, sorry.
No, that's what
I
it
might have
says.
miswrote it, so that might be on me. Again, I'm digging through about, a year's worth and two maybe administrations ago of details here, so.
Did you do this whole report?
Brenda and I both did this, yes, yep. So I can move on to the general fund actual revenues. So when the projected amounts
We ready to
exceeded
move on?
296, so I'm on the budgetary basis for the general fund revenues. So this kind of details exactly where we were projecting the original budget and then what actually came in. So we were actually projected 19,746,345 and brought in 20,042,390. So that's where that positive 296,000 came in.
Right.
And then we go down to the expenses, and we brought in 20,163,000 $1,822 of expense. So that's where that positive, negative, that's where that in the original fund balance, where we got that, and then what was allocated for assigned fund balance and unassigned fund balance to bring that to positive. So that is the generalized report, and also in here, we put in kind of the trio, what our accounting software does, and you can look at individual departments, kind of where we've overspent, where we underspent, and then we also ran the trial balance as well. So I don't want to get, it's a lot of information in there, so I don't want to get too much detail, but if there's any questions, please let me know.
I have a comment.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I have a comment, Joe.
Yes.
So, being on the Budget Finance Committee for a short period of time before I got elected to this, we were asking for these numbers for the reason that how can anybody monitor their budget, whether it's general administration that went over by $129,000? How can we monitor that? We need a monthly report
Yep.
in the future going forward so that my department, Jason's department, Bruce's department all know. I see a lot of overages, but how would anybody know if they didn't know what the numbers actually were? This is what's been so frustrating, and I don't know how long, why it's taken so long to get these numbers, but I'm still frustrated. And
I was
know
actually
that-
one of those department head members too,
Yeah, I know.
so I get it.
So it's just, I just want the public to realize that I don't think that anybody intentionally went over their budget, but they wouldn't have known unless they internally keep track of everything they spend, and which is a very difficult task for big departments.
So that,
So, but a lot of these expenses, if you look at
But-
the detail, are one in a, one instance. So if you dig into these
so department heads
administration lines,
don't do that?
balance their own expenses,
Yeah.
keep track. I mean,
I mean, you can't tell me that
Yeah.
the department heads don't have an idea that they're going over or under their budget until they send it out into Magic Land and it gets on a spreadsheet and comes back to them. They have to, each department head has to know.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
mean-
pretty simple spread, I mean,
Well, there's some things that are in their control and some things that aren't.
I'm not saying the control of it, they still should
What
know.
I mean
whether
by
it's
that
like
is-
something breaks down, it's not in their control, but they
Right.
still know how much it's costing. They have to.
I agree with you.
Because we
but
sign
then-
warrants
But
for
you've got
it.
salaries, you've got administrative costs that the general department heads don't know what those numbers are. That's taken care of by the finance director.
Right.
So in my budget, for instance, I could only control what we spend on software. Salaries and health insurance, dental, all that stuff is figured out by finance directors. And that's where generally the overages
I
have
think
been.
that's why we were trying to move those out.
Yeah,
correct?
we did, we tried, but now it's back in.
Well, let me just read this. I think this is important to read. It talks about the Select Board having the authority for the $75,000, just so you know, on Article 8, because you mentioned it in this
Yeah, the-
nicely
the warrant
written thing.
article.
It says, "To see if the town will vote to authorize the Select Board to appropriate for undesignated fund balance," we call surplus, "to meet unanticipated needs of community that occurred during the fiscal year, and to adjust the tax rate as the Select Board deems advisable in the amount of 75." I don't remember authorizing that. So you said it was something that was already approved here by 8, and I think it had to come back to us at the time that we reviewed this in order to do that. And now what I'm hearing is it's already been used, and I can't find the $175,000 that says here that we voted on in this warrant anywhere. So I brought the warrants just in case.
That's great.
So.
I wasn't town manager back then,
No,
just
I
so you
agree.
know.
But
Okay.
you were interim, and you were there at the end of the budget process when we requested this stuff.
This is FY 23-24,
Right, when we started requesting it September of this past year.
24-25.
Right. Joe, I'm just saying,
Okay.
if you've done this, and it says that the Select Board voted to give $175,000, and I asked you if you wrote this,
Yeah,
and you said you did, with Sue. I mean, with Brenda.
Well, I was digging through backlogs of this stuff. So I'm trying to figure out also,
What
Yeah.
they,
But
How
let
this-
me do it this way. Did you use $175,000 to balance out 23 and 24?
I didn't use it, you guys did. You guys had to vote on this. It's
You
a hundred,
didn't vote on it.
Yeah.
or special town meeting. There's $175,000 of unassigned fund balance that was used to cover this.
Okay, I'm disagreeing. And the next meeting, I'd like the finance director here, so we can talk to her in person, not on Zoom, and get these answered. Quite frankly, the select board has $75,000 to use for an engine that goes out in an emergency situation. That's what we have used it for in the past. And we can use it to balance the budget, and there's no doubt about it. But we weren't asked.
I think the,
Yeah.
Really, what it comes down
I
to.
realize, but I
Derek, is
think the whole
process.
point of this process is to maybe ask a bunch of questions and go back and find it, because it's hard to pin someone. Deborah and him both weren't authorizing or coming up with these funds to pay out.
It's the first time we've read this.
I realize, that's the whole point.
Okay.
We should read it, discuss it, see what questions we have, see if we can find the answers. It's more of, hey, this is what's wrong, and it's like, great, let's,
I just read it, what they said they used it for. I'm saying this is what they gave us and said they used this. And so if we don't have their documentation to be able to
who's
use.
that? Who are you talking about?
Brenda and Joe gave us this after the audit was done.
Right, they're trying to collect information from something they didn't do and explain it to us where we have questions. What I'm saying is we should come up with a bunch of questions. This is a very big document to come
Lot
up with
that
in a
goes into
month to compile all of this. So we should fine tune this, figure out what we have for questions.
I just said that, we'll have her back at the next meeting
Right.
to explain what meetings the 75 was voted on and what meetings the 175 was voted on.
Exactly. I think we should go through and have, we're gonna find more questions that we have, and then we
Okay.
can bring it down. We have 30 pages worth of stuff, and by the end, we'll probably have,
Yep.
I don't know, a dozen questions, 20 questions, and we can pinpoint it instead of.
Yeah. I will make a note on the 75,000. For my.
170, first page would be 175 and 75.
Yeah, so
Then
the
we move on to second
75,000,
page.
my understanding is you have that assigned fund balance already designated. So if you do go over, it will kick in.
Actually, under revenue, it says 175,000. I went through this thing and read it. It says, right on the page 1, it says, under revenue, 4103, fund balance, 175,000.
Right, so it says here too. You're asking where it's coming from. We can see where it got
It
applied.
came from surplus, it came from surplus, that's fund balance.
It came from, yes, undesignated assigned fund balance.
Okay. I've asked my questions, and now I want the finance director here to answer the questions and give her another month to come up with where the money came from and what meetings we voted on it.
So,
Well, it
So
came
we-
from the unassigned fund balance. That's what we know.
That's-
It's maybe, are you asking where, how
Yeah.
it got appropriated?
Yeah.
Okay, I can look at that.
It'd be easy to look at the meeting that we voted on it and
Yep.
how it ended up in revenues as opposed to an adjustment. It
Well, you
says
have to
revenue.
put in revenue.
have to put it
You
in.
have to, because if you can't put it as an adjustment.
I'm saying that we don't have a right, I don't believe, as a select board, to allocate $175,000 of taxpayers' funds without bringing it back to a special town meeting. That's my impression.
Okay.
I could be wrong, I'm still new.
Right, I can look at that. So that's, you're looking at the process of the $175,000 of how that got appropriated to that fund balance
Pretty much. what I'm
offset.
saying.
Okay.
Can I make one more suggestion? That for the next meeting, that these questions that we're asking, Brenda provide, or you provide us the answers a week before the meeting, so we have time to digest it. Getting this packet the day before.
I got this packet.
Well,
I got this
I know
August
when you
1st,
got it, and I know when
right?
I got it.
So I
And
would
it
love
wasn't
a
enough
detailed
time
list.
for us to sit here and have a good
I
discussion.
agree. I spent all weekend pulling this report together.
And I appreciate that.
So do I. Joe, this isn't really about when, August 1st. It was September when we said, let us know as soon as it was done. We're almost a
As soon as
year
what-
later.
As soon as what was done?
September 10th, we asked if there was enough money in the 23-24 budget that we wouldn't have to get in undesignated fund or surplus. Can we use, you can watch this. I mean, this is from my minutes of the meeting. course, you'd have to watch it because it
Of
doesn't.
September of that year?
Yes,
Okay.
it was last,
Is that-
it was the end of 23, 24. We didn't have the
Yeah.
audit.
Right.
So the chair, Olson, said, do you know if we have enough funds between the departments that we won't have to go to unfunded, surplus?
Okay.
And she said we had plenty of money in surplus. So I'm telling you that
Okay.
this is the first chance we've got to look at this.
Right.
Timeliness, I know it was a mess, because believe me, we
Yeah.
heard about it. But this is important, that the citizens know that we're doing things appropriately, and if we have to spend a couple $100,000, they know about it before a meeting in August.
Sure, yeah.
Oh.
And I, honestly, I mean, I'm looking forward. So going forward, we are, a month away from bank reconciling last year. That will get us to be able to do this monthly. We've changed the way we are inputting our post on the general ledger. We're not making adjustments. We're going through AP and cash receipting. So when you attach that to general ledger, you're not damaging those control accounts. When you damage those control accounts, that's when you have these reporting issues. So going forward, it will be fixed and will be addressed with just our accounting principles. So that stuff's being addressed, and it will be better going forward. I'm also looking at other ERP software that might be better suited for the town of Raymond. So we talked about the website. I was going to leave that for my town manager notes, but there's a website and agenda management that has a financial component. This has a much simpler user interface, so you're not have to finagle it like Trio. Trio's kind of built on an older platform. So we're looking at better ways to account for this stuff, and again, the reporting will be much faster with those type of softwares. So
Would it be fair to at least wrap this up by simply saying that we used $75,000 which the selectmen had a right to do, and another $175,000 to balance out the 23-24 budget,
No,
which makes it $250,000. That's what's in this report.
I think what we should do is try to figure it out.
This is right from the finance director.
What, right, but I think like what we're trying to do is just say, okay, this is where we ended
This is,
up.
we have a
Right,
question
and
here,
then-
let's move on, and then have
how-
another question, get some answers, figure it out so we
And
don't
then
make the same mistakes.
How, like just where did the funds come from? And then, and I think it's important for us to just look and see where, things were over and where things were under, because it will help inform for the following years.
We can read those
yeah,
off.
and I can go into those details if you want, why the over expenditures happen, but
Well,
up to you
I mean, I'm seeing them.
yeah,
Yeah.
right?
I think
So,
the
I mean,
check-
I don't, it's pretty transparent and it's,
Okay.
and it's clear. So I personally don't need that, but.
Peter?
Peter Levitt, 2 Levitt Road. I'm just looking at the warrant for this last cycle. And, yeah, it is on Article 8. It says, as the chair read, not to exceed 75,000 from the surplus.
That's a select.
That's the unassigned fund balance.
Unassigned fund balance.
And there's a different one.
Sorry. There's assigned fund balance, and then there's unassigned fund
Yeah,
balance.
so this is unassigned fund balance.
It's unassigned? Okay.
Yeah. And then Article 11 says, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Select Board to appropriate from undesignated fund balance to reduce the property tax commitment at the Select Board, as the Select Board deems advisable, in it not to exceed $700,000. So those are the only two that
Tax rate.
discussed undesignated fund balance.
Correct.
And I don't know if this is germane or not to this discussion, but what was asked, I asked it several times at the last Select Board about having some account as to where we are exactly as far as our undesignated fund balance.
Right.
And I understand that generally accepted accounting principles actually set tolerances based on the municipality's budget on how much should be kept, and that affects your bond ratings. And that's one of the reasons.
15%, right?
Yeah.
It's 15%.
So 15%. So that, I guess this is just germane in understanding, for me anyway, where we are and getting, because I was getting all kinds of numbers as far as where we were with what our undesignated fund balance was. So I guess what I'd ask, along with asking these questions for the next meeting or whatever, is there some way we can get an accounting of where we stand now?
They did answer that meeting.
Well,
What we had, but it's probably changed from that meeting to this meeting.
well, yes,
Right.
they did. And I believe, if I recall, Derek, that explanation was we were in something in excess of $500,000 to $250,000 more than what we really needed, which I think generated some of the comments as far as we've got more than enough. But the bottom line, I guess, is as one individual at the pre-meeting to the secret ballot, there was an individual, a citizen, that came and asked those questions as well and didn't get a clear description, understanding why it is the town is holding on to so much more of the taxpayers' money than is really necessary for basically being able to meet the generally accounting principles, in that money should either be used rather than going out to bonding, or it should be, rather than saying just that it's going to be returned to the taxpayer in the form of reducing the tax rate. So I guess those are just some of the questions that I've had over time as far as where are we exactly with our undesignated fund balance? What are the totals? How much over that 15% that we should have is actually there? Because my contention is, rather than necessarily going out to bonding and paying interest on bonds, might it be better to take some of that money and, rather than tax relief, buy an ambulance? That's my
So
comment.
noted, thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
So do we need a motion to table it?
I think we just,
Just a discussion.
yeah, I think,
Voting
Yeah.
on
right, I think that what we've done is request
Okay,
the presence of the person who we pay to be a finance director
that's fine.
at the next meeting.
Also, if you have the specific questions,
Recording
please
in
email them.
progress.
There, she's up there right now.
There's Brenda.
In the interest of time.
Um,
We're going to rehash.
I think we just move on.
Yeah. I think we beat this as much as we want to at this stage. So we're going to move on to the next thing.
We have Brenda here if you want to ask these
I
questions.
think we've decided, in the interest of time, just to
Okay.
move on to the next one.
Thanks for an argument to be present.
What's
Unless
that?
you have a question.
No, I mean, she's here now. I don't know. I guess we just argued it for a while without. We have what? How many questions on it? We want to know where the 175 and the 75 are.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if she's here and she wants to answer, did we or did we not use,
Yeah, I mean,
as this
it's
paperwork
not a terribly
showed?
long question. We only have those two right now for if she wants to get on and tell us that, or if she doesn't have it in front of her, then she can find out those answers.
Oh, I'm sure she has the paperwork necessary. She's zooming in. Brenda, we raised a question on the overruns on 23-24 budget. And the funds used, from what we've gathered, and evidently I'm one that did some reading on it. It looks like it says, and again, this is a quote of what's written here, to cover the difference, the shortage, of 175,000, that was my word, the shortage, 175,000 from the unassigned fund balance was voted on by the Select Board. And then there was also the $75,000 that was moved over that the Select Board could have decided to put into this budget. And is that accurate? Is that $225,000 what we needed to balance out the budget?
250.
Yes, it is.
250? And you said it was voted on by the Select Board.
No, I
Right.
wrote, I wrote that one, Dennis. That was me who said that one.
Well, even if you wrote it, there's an assumption that,
Yeah, but Brenda
We
can
took an
explain
action,
what
so-
that meant.
so both of those are accurate, that the $75,000, and when would we have done that? After the audit, or when we saw the overrun? And which meeting was that, where we knew that there was a
So,
shortfall of our budget of 23-24?
yeah, it's kind of tough, it's kind of tough for me to determine because I wasn't there. But normally what would happen is when you start to see a line disappearing, and I mean the budget itself, I think that had to do with legal and with administration. There was some sort of a payout out of the administration line that was rather large. And then I know you had a lot of legal fees. I think it had something to do with something that went on the lake. So I think something happened.
Yes.
But we didn't move it over to the general budget. We couldn't do that. It says we voted on it, and the $75,000 I was on. You know, the 23-24 budget was not even, wasn't even involved with the reconciliation until after I was elected. And so what this implies is that the Select Board last year, or last
I
year.
think this was paid during that. I don't think it was paid after it was balanced and audited.
What?
I don't think it
No,
was paid
they-
after
so
it was balanced and
Yeah, so
audited. It was paid
those
during.
overruns, the way that works is the Select Board has that $75,000 contingency funding. And at the end of the year, I'm just going to use the Select Board 75,000 as an example, just to explain it. So at the end of the year, when you look at the bottom line of the whole budget for the whole town, not just like by department,
Yes.
when you, so if you don't expend it, it falls to fund balance, that 75,000.
Right. And if
So
we
it's not
decide to
like-
use
You
it,
don't really,
we vote on it.
I'm sorry?
And if we should decide to use it, we vote on it as a Select Board publicly, so that people know that we added it to the budget. We only have a right to spend that. It doesn't go into the budget unless we vote on it. The citizens
Well,
gave the Select
actually-
Board the right to use that.
So actually, the 75,000, let me use this year's budget, for example. You had a warrant article drafted just for the Select Board budget. So it's already voted on by citizens for you to have that $75,000 contingency budget
I agree.
within your use.
Correct.
So it doesn't need like another vote because it's getting voted on during your budget process.
I just read it. Did anyone misunderstand that? Every time I've seen the $75,000 spent since I've been here, the Select Board had to agree to spend it on a heating unit or a motor or something. It just doesn't fall into the budget without a Select Board approval.
Right, she's saying the town doesn't. The town already did it on the warrant, gave us, now we vote to spend the 75.
Right, we haven't done it.
Right. That's right.
And when did we do that?
What do you mean?
I think they're like the.
I think you're in two different years.
The confusion is,
We haven't done it for this because we haven't needed to.
right, so,
We wouldn't know we ran over until July of '24. So we'd be in the '24-25 budget. I was a selectman at that time. We never voted to move
You don't
$75,000.
pay, what I'm saying is you don't pay it at the end. You don't balance the budget, look at it, and then go backwards and pay it in it. You can't pay it backwards.
That's right, we should have had a special meeting.
No, you,
well, I think what's confusing is it sounds like, I mean, that's money that can be approved, but I mean, we'd have to go back and look at it, but the voters.
Sam and I were the only ones here when
Yeah,
I think this is a
when
can of
you-
worms that you can't publicly talk about.
When we.
And the amount of money for that, you weren't here, I don't think, that got.
This is
put
the
through.
23-24 budget. We didn't know what was going on with it until after 24 when I was elected.
So, I'm telling you that when you pay, you're paying stuff out in 23, 24 before the end of the budget is over. Before it gets audited, you can't go back and pay something now for April. It would be put on the books right now. You can't go, oh, it's over, and now we
That's
gotta pay
correct.
that back then. You paid that back then when that overage came in April, and then it shows up on this.
I'm simply asking when it was voted on both matters, and I know we can't vote as a select board for $175,000 without coming back to the citizens.
Wait, we're going round and round.
Yep.
We asked for the information, we asked Brenda, she gave us an answer. Let's have Joe and Brenda find out what
Good.
meetings and do that investigation so
Okay.
that the next meeting, we can have a discussion
There's
that's
also,
accurate.
I'm telling
And there's
you,
probably things
you're
like
going to
Derek
want the
said.
attorney to get involved in that question and answer process, is what I'm telling you.
Well,
Because there's some
no,
stuff you can, yes,
He
100%, there's some
doesn't have to
stuff.
itemize what it went for. It's just when the meetings were voted on that we could spend that money.
Right.
That's what he's asking. And that's a simple question. Joe can answer that.
Yep.
Look into it.
Those are the big questions I had. The rest of it is just details. Thanks for zooming in.
Thank you, Brenda.
No problem.
Okay. We now have public comments. This should be interesting.
Sean McKillop, 84 Main Street. Chris, I have a question if you wouldn't mind answering and clarifying, and Joe as well. Can you sum up, you talked about the health insurance payrolls being moved out of departments. I seem to remember that was recent. Now you're saying they're back in. Can you
Well, what I meant was, originally, they tried to take it so the departments would have their own breakdown in each department. That was the intent, but it was not easily done. So now administration, Brenda and the finance and the town manager put all those numbers into our budgets as a department head, which I'm not anymore, but when I was, we never had control of we didn't even know those numbers until the budget actually came out. In other words, your salaries, your benefit packages, Social Security, Medicare, all that stuff. And that's the way
It
it's.
would be all but benefits and insurance, right? You know
Yeah.
what the salary, like,
Yeah,
you would know if you had
right,
an assistant what they
right,
made.
right.
It would be the other stuff,
Absolutely.
yeah.
That stuff is what they take care of. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, kind of. Because I feel like I remember the conversation because that was recent, right? It was a recent move to get it out, and I thought it was.
It wasn't.
But
Now it's
for-
back under administration, so it's all encompassing, because the breakout, it makes it difficult to.
Right, so it is out, it is still out. So the Department of Code Enforcement doesn't have
They do not have.
salaries in there, it goes under admin.
So sorry, no, they have salaries, but the benefits are
I'm sorry,
not.
but
Yes,
benefits and.
benefits all encompassing in admin now.
Right, so they
it's-
could now do a budget themselves, the department head.
It's easier to pull that and see what you're spending collectively for those benefits, yes.
Yeah, a lot of that had to do with the billing. So when the bills come, trying to separate out,
Yeah.
the bill would never come like by department. It would come by like person. So you'd have to sit there and pluck each individual employee out, break down each expense for each employee, and then grind it all back together again by department. So it wasn't something that was an easy thing to do. But if someone ever needed the information at some point for a particular reason, I mean, I could still gather it, but to do it on a regular basis, it's a lot of extra work based on the way the insurance bills come in.
Does the new program get rid of that?
if we went with the new software. As far as the
Just
reconciling, like the accounts.
more
and
of a
everything.
monthly breakdown or spreadsheet of what each department is and where they're at, plus or minus their budget that they put forward.
As long as you're running through your accounts payable and cash receipting that way and not adjusting, it is easier to get those balances. Yeah. So you balance out on the general ledger. Once you close out that month, you can get that report right away.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Grace?
Grace Levitt, Levitt Road. These are questions, but probably don't have answers yet, so I guess they're reminders. I just wanted to ask at what point there might be a design committee for Jordan Small School formed and using the recommendations from the visioning committee, what the status is of that work. A previous speaker during the special town meeting talked about having lots of volunteers getting involved. And so hopefully that is going to be up and coming in the next month or two. I'm wondering what the status of the Public Works Committee is. I did see that they had one meeting so far, and if there's any update on that. Another committee that's going to be needed is the Comprehensive Plan Implementation Committee. I'm happy to say that that's going to be hopefully formed soon, and again, that's a lot of work ongoing. I would be remiss if I didn't mention ongoing concerns about traffic safety. There had been, at one point, I thought, a suggestion, I don't know if it was from a select board person or somebody at the podium, I don't think it was myself, to have some sort of a subcommittee that's looking at all sorts of traffic safety issues in the town. It's good to see the North Raymond Road intersection with Ledge Hill vastly improved. I'm still a little hesitant to be sure everybody's going to stop at those stop signs, but it certainly is much better. And I did hear a concern from a neighbor about the Valley Road Raymond Hill stop sign. It's on the stop signs on Valley Road, that people just go right through it. So I just wanted to bring that concern to whomever might take a look at that. They're not actually stopping. Yes, you can kind of see there's no car coming one way or the other, but there was some sort of a motorbike. It wasn't a motorcycle. It was something that you might not expect to see. And I think about kids on bicycles sometimes. There aren't too many, but again, people should be stopping at stop signs. That's what they're there for. So hopefully that could be looked at as well. And I think that is my list. So committees, and traffic safety. I have not seen, by the way, those signs that I thought were going to be around during the summer that would show what your speed was and give that feedback. I just haven't seen where they were placed anywhere. So hopefully they're out there and I've just missed them. But again, the speeding and it just continues. And there have been a number of articles, again, in the Portland Press Herald recently about concerns about traffic safety. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good point.
Frank?
That North Raymond one freaked out my wife. Because I stopped and went, and somebody was coming, and she was like, ah! I'm like, no, there's a stop sign there now. She's like, oh, okay.
Mike McDermott, Dermott Road, Raymond. Thankfully, the comprehensive plan passed. Got a question. In the comprehensive plan, it calls for making this area a village area, which means that in time, we may need land here to expand recreation and whatever. We are going to get the school, and I know there's a piece of property right next to the school where there's a fallen down house and a fallen down barn. It's about the only contiguous piece of property I think that would be available. I think the town ought to take a look at that, because buying other property up in this area for those kinds of programs may be pretty restricted. So I'm just, saying somebody ought to take a look at that and see if something like that is available and have the town think about adding that to the piece of land that we'll get when we get the Jordan Small School.
Thank you, Frank. Anyone else? All right, seeing no one, we'll close public and we'll turn it over to Select Board comments? Kayla?
Grace, I think you read my notes, because I have here, we don't want to lose sight of the two committees that we should be establishing, which is the Jordan Small Middle School repurposing committee, I think you called it. Design, but yeah, hey, we're on the same page. And then the comprehensive plan implementation committee, now that we have a comprehensive plan. And then I would like to remind everyone that school starts August 27th. Please watch out for the flashing lights and stop for school buses.
Anyone else?
Gotcha. Good.
People know how I feel, so I'm done. Other than that, I'll entertain a motion. Oh, no. We have to go into executive session. And then,
We got the,
oh, I'm sorry.
I got
I'm
some
sorry,
important reports. One of the big items is we heard what everyone's been saying about communication, website. We found a software that has agenda management, so you'll see our meeting minutes look a little bit different. Melanie, our town clerk, has implemented the agenda management software that will keep track of all these agendas and e-packets, and we'll be able to distribute to committee members to look at live. So if there's any changes, you can see the live update instead of getting to a Word document, making the change, emailing it, waiting for email response, get an email response, make the change, email back out. This does it all kind of live, which will streamline a lot of the agenda management and committee management that we're seeing. So I think that's a big component to the software. Also, with Kevin, our IT, helping us out. This has a news portion, so you can have news articles right on the front of the website, nice, cleanly stated. So you have different news articles they can look through. They're even looking at pinning certain news articles to the top, so you can see important ones that you want to keep up there. This is also an ADA accessible website. So again, as you know, heard before, our website right now is very looks like maybe a Jackson Pollock painting. So this will streamline a lot of those pieces and make it more visible. Also with this has a communication and broadcast piece. So you can get text updates. You get text updates on certain subjects that you would like. If you want Parks and Rec text updates, you get that. If you want public safety, you can get text updates like that. You also can get certain emails. You can get subscribed to all town-wide emails, or you can pick a certain category. So for the same price that we pay for the Roadrunner, we can use this software, and it can do a lot more with our communication piece. So we're really excited. We're working on the migration right now with Kevin, with our information, so you can get your permits clearly, in there. You can get department info clear, and it has a good search tool to find what you need on this website. So that is being implemented. I think that'll be a huge plus for the community and help us streamline a lot of our operations as well. So it's exciting. There's been a lot of back end work to get that moving. So we're happy to finally announce that and move forward. So we'll keep you updated. If you go to our website and it looks different, you'll know why. But I hope by the next meeting I can give you an update on where we're at.
Good.
The microtransit started August 4th. So heard from RTP that people have been using it. So we're looking forward to get the data on that as well, see how we're doing this August. Public safety, they just picked up the new rescue pumper. Works good, looks good. So they have that now in their fleet. Public Works, they're paving Martin Heights right now. So you'll see a lot of road crews out there paving, and they should be starting that right now. North Raymond and Ledge Hill intersection is complete, so there's lights there. That will hopefully cause people to slow down in that area. We also, I like to say, Public Works for their help with the tennis court. There's definitely, we had a great opening with, I think, probably around 80, 100 people. It was great to see everyone, and I can tell you the courts are being used a lot right now. Parks and Rec, we have our new rec programmer, Riley Small. She's been with us for a couple summers. She was a camp counselor, is now moving into that programmer role. So we're excited to have her. And we also have our Assistant Parks and Rec Director is Jill Lambert, who was previously the librarian at RES. So we're happy to have them. Very community-minded people, and they are working summer camp right now, so I think they're going to be looking forward to the fall season. We also have our soccer, cross-country, UCAN 5K registrations up. And the Raymond Village Library sent me about a page list of summer events that I was not able to write down, but they are staying active and busy this summer. So great to see the activity at Raymond Village Library. Just like to confirm dates for the upcoming regular meetings. Ordinance workshop for 5 p.m. on September 16th. Then right after that, we'll have this September 16th, the regular select board meeting. October 14th, another select board meeting. And then I know for November, that falls on a holiday, election day. So I think we have to look at moving that select board meeting date. Upcoming holidays, Labor Days, Monday, September 1st. Indigenous Peoples Days, Monday, October 13th. Town office will be closed anyways on those days. And then Veterans Day, we will also be closed Tuesday, November 11th. And that wraps up the town manager report.
Do we want to look at the October 14th?
October 14th or November?
No.
Well, it says October, November we haven't got to. We have
October's-
September.
I think October
October
should be set.
Should be fine. I think he's saying November was the bad one
I
because
think
it's
November.
Right, but I was
holiday
asking if
and
you
then
guys are
election day.
available.
I appear to be fine for that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. We didn't get that last time, so I don't believe. And then November we'll deal with as we
Yeah,
get closer.
yeah, November 11th.
Wait, you said September 16th was the one?
September 16th would be the,
That's the third one, so just make sure everybody has that instead of the
got
second
it.
one. I put it in, I'm fine with that. I'm better with that, but.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I was
moved that last
unavailable
time.
I'm good.
Okay,
as
perfect.
well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay, good.
then yeah, November, we have Election Day, November 4th, and then
Veterans Day
Veterans
on the
Day on the 11th. So we'll have to look at moving that. We can check calendars and come back for next meeting if you like.
Yes, please.
Or the 18th wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you guys want to try to wrap it up now? with 18th?
18th works for
I'm
me.
fine with it now. It's hard to,
Sam, do you know if
it's hard to really say, but yeah.
November
Let's pencil that
18th
one
will
in.
work
It is
for
hunting
you?
season.
For the
We'll just
November
put it
meeting?
tentative.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We can put tentatively maybe
Tentative
18th.
works.
Okay, tentatively
December.
18th? Okay, I'll put that down. And
Joe, did you look at my calendar?
no, I did not.
Okay, so pending availability.
Pending availability for Bill too.
But you did look at the October one for him? You all set for October though, Bill?
October's all set.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was November, December with the, will be bill-less.
Yeah, November, I'm away from the 31st of October to the 13th of November.
That should work.
That wraps up the general select board meeting. So I'll entertain a motion for executive session.
Okay, I move to enter into executive session for discussion of personnel matters under 1 MRSA 4056A.
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you for coming in. All right, we're back out of the executive session. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor? I thought that would be unanimous.